we have a show called Time Jumper, which we do for Disney. And what is that?
It's a motion comic.
Motion comic. It's sort of a cross between a comic book and an animated cartoon. It looks a little like a comic book, but you have music and you hear the voices, and it moves in its own manner. And that was the first of this type of thing. As we get into it, they keep improving and they get more animated and more excited. It's going to be a whole new field opening up, and I'm happy that POW Disney is right at the forefront of it with Time Jumper, right?
Gotta ask, Stan, Spider-Man. What was the spark for that idea? Is that based on anybody? Or?
It's hard to remember. I've told this story so often that for all I know it might even be true. But I was looking for a new superhero and I saw a fly on the wall. And you know, when you do a superhero, the most important thing is, what will the power be? And everything had been done. I mean, we had the strongest guy in the world, that was the Hulk. And we had somebody who could burst into flame and fly, that was the Human Torch, and on and on. And I was thinking, what could be new? And I saw that fly, and I said, gee, what if a superhero could crawl on walls or stick to the ceiling like an insect? So that gave me the first idea. Then I needed a name. So I went through the list. I thought, Insect Man? It didn't sound dramatic enough. Fly Man? All right, but I can do better. Mosquito Man? Sounds funny. I went down the line, and then I got to Spider-Man. It sounded scary, and it sounded dramatic, and that was it. And of course, it wasn't an instant success with my publisher. He didn't want me to publish it. He said, nobody likes spiders. You can't call a character Spider-Man. And he gave me a lot of other reasons. But luckily for us, and for him, and for Marvel, and for the world at large, it worked out pretty well.
Indeed. Now, your characters have human qualities, obviously, and significant flaws, each one. I'm still trying to speculate what Spider-Man's flaw is.
What his flaws are? Oh, well, I gave Spider-Man, Peter Parker, a lot of flaws. I tried to make him like any normal teenager. Now, every normal teenager has a million problems. I mean, he never had enough money. He wasn't that popular with girls. He had to work because his aunt, who we lived with, his parents were dead. His widowed aunt didn't have any money. He had to have part-time jobs. And when he finally got his superpower, it's too complicated now, but those who saw the movie or read the book, they know. He somehow felt he was responsible for the death of his uncle, because he hadn't helped at a time when he might have. And he therefore felt he now has some power as Spider-Man, but with great power comes great responsibility. And he felt he has to dedicate his life to helping others to make up for what he had done or not done as far as his uncle's death was concerned. So he always carried that little bit of guilt with him. So he wasn't a character like, let's say, as Superman, who never seemed to have anything to worry about except being recognized when he took his glasses off.
Or kryptonite.
And we tried to do that with all of our characters at Marvel, to make them human and have human traits and failings and foibles and phobias and anything else that begins with F or PH.
$30 billion is what we're talking about here, and that might be conservative. Obviously, this has got a real impact and a real piece of everybody's pocketbook in the U.S. In terms of how you're plugged into this today with POW, do you see yourself ever perhaps going public like a Marvel?
We are. We're actually a pink sheet company.
You're already public.
Yes. And we did that for a few reasons. One, we felt that it was important to surround ourselves with some key writers.
Now, is there a symbol for the stock?
Yes, it's POWNPK.
What was your cameo in Iron Man?
In Iron Man, the first one, was mistaken for Hugh Hefner by
Well, I can see
Tony
why.
Stark, who was Iron Man. In the second one, the light just went on.
Ah, so you said the magic word.
Now we have to do it all over
Was it
again.
Hugh
with
Hefner
the light
or
went
was
in.
Tony Stark.
Tony Stark.
The second one doesn't really matter.
What a class act. I got to tell you, the comic books, the movies, class all the way. And you know, you don't have this crutch that a lot of them have of the sex or the innuendo, et cetera, et cetera. So awesome
Good
stuff.
storytelling is really the key, and that's developing new characters that will be relatable to people for generations. That's
Absolutely.
our mission.
And we follow the simplest rule in the world. And anything that we work on, that we create, we say to ourselves, is this something we would like to see? Not, is this something they would like? I don't know what they would like. I know what I would like to see, what Gil would like to see, what my wife would like to see, what our little puppies might like to. So we do things that we feel are good, that we would like to see, and luckily there are a lot of people in the world that have similar tastes. So that's what we do.
Now, I feel compelled to ask a few financial questions.
Go right ahead. I like to invest in what I'm doing.
Eat your own cooking.
And POW is my big interest. I find it exciting. I love working with the people I work with. I love what we're doing. And I love the fact that we have so many projects in development. And just by law of averages, if we have over 20, some of them are going to come through and be big. I've had a pretty good record before, and I think the things we're doing now are as good or better than what we had done before. So I'm not looking to invest all over the place. I want to put all my energies and assets in POW, but I must say I do have some. I have stock in Apple. I've always liked that company. In Disney, and a few other companies. And I just...
Great American companies.
Yeah, and I just put it there and I forget about it.
Have
I
you
know
been
the money is safe.
And Stan, have you been an investor in equities through the years? I mean...
Not much, no. Mostly, it's only been this past decade, I'd say, that somebody talked me into buying stuff. And I tried to buy companies that I admired.